So my mic is muted, so you're not hearing me. Regis Reeves, you are live on YouTube. Good morning, my friend.
Students and teachers of A Course in Miracles. Join us at acimgather.us.
The more you give, the more you give, the more you live, your happiness is relative. And if you're feeling like crap, it's time to face the fact. It's your prerogative to be positive.
Gratitude before me, behind. Gratitude behind me, to the left. Gratitude to the left of me, to the right. To the right of me, above me. Gratitude above me, below me. Gratitude.
You gotta wake up, wake up. Remember you're dreaming. Remember you're dreaming.
You're listening to ACIM Gather Radio for students and teachers of A Course in Miracles. Join us at acimgather.us.
It's okay to have just a little, and it's swell to have a lot. On the bottom or in the middle, in a rowboat or a yacht. Love is what we long for, to be acknowledged and to be seen. In the end, does it really matter if you're a prince or a queen? The more you give, the more you give, the more you live, your happiness is relative. And if you're feeling like crap, it's time to face the fact. It's your prerogative to be positive. If we become what we believe, then as we think, we shall receive. So let go of the past, pull your head from your ass. It's your prerogative to be positive. Here where the ever after is, here is where the laughter is. Tambourine man in the yellow submarine, and be positive, positive. Don't hang on tight, let it all go. The more you find out, the less you know. Life is just slipping right through your hands. She's up there, laughing while you're making your plans. Try your best, give it all you got. You might win, you might lose, shoot your best shot. Get mad, get even, if you must. You gotta learn how to love, learn how to trust. The more you give, the more you live, your happiness is relative. But if you're feeling like crap, it's time to face the fact. It's your prerogative to be positive.
I'm here only to be truly helpful. I'm here to represent him who sent me. I do not have to worry about what to say or what to do, for he who sent me will direct me. I am content to be wherever he wishes, knowing he goes there with me. I am healed as I let him teach me to heal.
All right, good morning. And thank you, thank you, thank you, Susie in Vancouver, Canada, Susan Braverman. And how's my sound? Can you hear me? I think you can. Yes. Okay, great. Carrie said no. Karen says yes. And Lynn says yes and good. So I don't know why. Carrie's a joker. And welcome back, Carrie, from your experience with the cold and flu season. I tuned in this past Friday. I got out of bed just for Carrie, and Carrie wasn't here. And Lynn, I mean, that Carrie was having a dream of sickness here today, but he didn't bring donuts or coffee. Oh, Tess said it was COVID, not a cold, not the flu, but the big C, COVID. And yeah, that's what the tests say. And I love that you stated it that way. We had a talk about what tests say yesterday in Dove and Karen's meeting. So I like the way you stated that. The test said, just because the test said, you have to say it, and it really can have an effect on your recovery time. And you don't always say what the tests say. That's just, you can take that for free and do what you want to do with it. Let the test say what it say, and you just keep saying what you say. I am not a body. I am free. I am still. I remain a creator. Nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. As the peace of God. And as I was looking at today's lesson, which is the 9th day of the new year, as I was reading, I was thinking, yeah, these are the think about what you're thinking about lessons. And then I noticed I wasn't looking at lesson 9, I was looking at lesson 8. My brain said turn to lesson 9, but I turned to lesson 8, and there are no slips, there are no accidents. So we'll do both lesson 8 and lesson 9, because as soon as you start reading lesson 9, it refers back to the previous lessons. So a quick look, I won't look.
Regis appears to be frozen.
All right, and we're back. Internet connection is a little wonky today, so it is what it is, and I don't know how that affects YouTube. It says we're still on YouTube. I don't know if it's so. Anyway, here we go. As I was saying before, we had that little bleep trusting that everyone is still here, still listening, still can hear me. Lynn says I froze up a minute ago. I think I am unfrozen now. Okay, perfect. And so it is, that's the land of the World Wide Web. But as I was saying, Zoom is on her phone. She's also logged into Zoom. You can also reach us on Pal Talk, where we chat on the chat board. And my wife likes to listen on YouTube. YouTube is really easy for phones, TV, whatever. So she likes, for her equipment and her digital products, I think YouTube really is a lot easier for her. But Sharon, I was saying I was watching an episode of House Hunters or something like that, one of those HGTV shows, and there was this Jewish couple, and man, did this lady kind of look like you? She sounded like you. She had your mannerisms. I said, wow, that's Sharon. And I just thought it was fun to be able to watch that episode and be so reminded of you as I watched it. I thought that was really cool. But as I was saying, these couple of lessons, lesson 7, lesson 8, lesson 9, is to think about what you're thinking about lessons. They're really just teaching us without saying those words. And Karen sent me a little excerpt from Ken Wapnick the other day, where he was talking about thinking about what you're thinking about. So I guess it's not original with me. I took credit for that being. I took credit for that. Think about what you're thinking about. I still may have had it before Ken Wapnick. Who knows? I may have had it when I was 5 or 4 years old, because I did think the people around me were pretty crazy as a little kid, just sitting around listening to the adults talk. And you kind of had the idea we're not in very good hands here. So maybe I was thinking about what you're thinking about even when I was 3. Hey, that's supposed to be running everything. Are you listening to yourself? Are you hearing the conversations that you're having in front of me? So, lesson 8, my mind is preoccupied with past thoughts. And I thought about this. It hit me deep, real quick, as soon as I read. And I just thought about even saying good morning. If you live in the house with someone, the person that you saw yesterday, or even the dog, or the pet that you saw yesterday, and we say, how are you? And we're really so preoccupied with who we thought that person was yesterday that we are really not even fully present. So much of how you doing is based on yesterday. I immediately started talking to Carrie, and went right to Friday when I was told he was under the weather. Why are you under the weather? Get on top of the weather. Anyway, I'm just having fun this morning. You got to laugh, because as Dove and I were talking yesterday in his meeting, you got to take it all with a grain of salt. And Dove gave us the Course in Miracles lesson that was in equal and perfect alignment with that idea. You got to take it all with a grain of salt. Not so serious. You can look at it, think about it, talk about it, touch it, feel it, do whatever you want to do with it, but still take it with a grain of salt. And that's what I'm learning to do. That's going to be my posture, I hope, for most days, for most minutes, for most hours of 2024 and forever. And forever is right here, right now. So as long as that's my posture now, that is my posture forever and for the whole of 2024. Where is the future? It is nowhere. Can you touch it? Can you bring it here and show it to me? Where is the future? So right here for now in eternity, my posture is taking it all with a grain of salt. Just taking it lightly. The upsets, the joys. I know two people, two teachers, and both are females. And I'm not saying other people don't say it, but I've never heard any other persons reference it when it comes to happiness, sadness, rejection, acceptance, where they just say it's all the same. All the same. It's the pat on the back is no different than the criticism. The attaboy is no different than bad boy. It's all the same. We take it all with a grain of salt. And this world would say that's a little depressing. This world would say that no, you got to be extreme. You got to be extremely happy. And not happy as the Course in Miracles teach it. What they mean is excitement beside yourself, to the state that you're almost out of your mind. But I noticed something about happiness is relative, and if you're happy all the time, then you're high all the time. And but you take the things that this world says should make you happy, and if you seem to just kind of be chilled about what this, hey, we're giving you a new car, they want you to tear up and cry and go into convulsions and fall down on your knees and lift up your hands and, hey, we're giving you a trip around the world, and you're supposed to jump up and scream, and because this world says you must force that happiness is outside of you. This is how you play a body in a world. You are not eternally happy. We give you moments of happiness, and you must be grateful to us, to this world system, for allowing you to experience this happiness. And then if you cross us, we'll take it all from you. We will cancel you. We will blackball you. It's interesting that in the United States specifically, we've gone back to tar and feather. We've gone back to blackballing people. We remember people like Lena Horne and I can't think of the other ladies, the lady that played Catwoman way back. But many outspoken women and men were blackballed by speaking up for social injustice or political injustice or whatever. And it's interesting that through social media, through the World Wide Web, we are back to tar and feather and blackballing people and canceling, because canceling, that's just the new word for blackball. Cancel is just the new word for take them in the middle of the town, hang them up in front of everybody and tar and feather them, completely destroy their image and reputation as it has been known. And really, we're trying to, like I was talking to my wife about one person. I said, do they not have the right to eat? I mean, that's death, that's murder. If you're trying to take away a person's livelihood, the means by which they have food and shelter and clothing, you're trying to block them from an income. So you're just saying you're worthy of murder. And that's judgment. That's the judgment that miracles speaks about. We get judgment mixed up. And, this is a sidebar. I'm just letting myself go where I go this morning. We think judgment is that we can't call something out. We can't say, we can't speak to a behavior. We can't speak to someone who is totally misperceived, that we can't say anything. Well, you don't want, Eartha Kitt. That's who I'm talking about. Eartha Kitt. Thank you, Karen, for Googling that. That's right. And she would have been an awesome force in this world. She was, regardless. You can't truly blackball anyone unless they say what the test results are, right, Carrie? If you can blackball me, but if I don't think I'm blackball, I'll just keep going. You can cancel me, but if I don't say I'm canceled, then I'll just keep going. And the people that's trying to cancel me are just stand on the side and keep being angry. They keep trying to cancel Donald Trump, the Democrats and the liberals, but they can't seem to do it because he won't accept that I'm canceled. If he would just roll over, then he would be canceled. But rolling over is not in his DNA. So that's another prime example of the fantasy of being canceled, of being blackballed. Mahalia Jackson, a lot of people don't know, was very outspoken about social injustice, and there was an attempt to shut her down, but she just kept on singing. And we know her as one of the greatest gospel singers of all time, in spite of all of that. But this world will try it. And one of the things we was talking about, tests or whatever, this world will try to impose limitations. It will try to convince us that this is the way. You have to go through me. I am God. What I say is what is. And we have to awaken every day in this place of miracles, in this state of grace, of atonement. As we talked yesterday, in our true holiness, that I am one with God. I am God's creation. I am God in whom she is well pleased. I am that I am. And nothing outside of me gets to define me. You can criticize, or you can give me a clean bill of health, or you can give me a shaky bill of health. But you don't get to define me. You don't get to set those limits. The only person that can truly set the limits is me. You can convince me to set limits on myself. You can convince me to place boundaries and fences around myself. I'm the one that's doing it. Building the fence at your suggestion. I'm the one that's putting myself in the box and shutting the door at your suggestion. So the calls are coming from inside of the house. My mind is preoccupied with my past thoughts, lesson 8. This idea, of course, the reason why you see only the past. This idea is of reason why you see only the past. No one really sees anything. He sees only his thoughts projected outward. I see this as a microphone in front of me because the past told me it was a microphone. If the past didn't tell me it was a microphone, I don't know what I would do with it. I might pick it up and try to hit a bug with it, or hit a person with it, or use the microphone stand to reach something out of my reach. I don't know. And later someone would walk up and say, "Hey, that's a microphone. What are you doing with that?" That's what we do with children. They just start messing with stuff. Toddlers just start pulling and reaching at stuff. And then we said, no, that's not for that. At first, we just tell them to leave it alone. Then when they're at an age where they can understand, then we try explaining to them what it does, or we try to show them, even just by demonstration, without verbal communication, something does or doesn't do. And this is for this purpose, and this is for that purpose. So we don't have to get real crazy with these lessons. But it is a mind-opening lesson to just acknowledge that everything that I think I know has just been something that was told to me, or shown to me, or lived out in front of me, and given an interpretation, which I have accepted as the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And we don't have to get panicky or fearful or feel like, oh, this is some type of weird teaching. But just acknowledge, who told you red was red, and who decided that the color red would be called red, or the color blue would be blue, what we think of as blue. Who made all these decisions? And that's why we have the quote, "A rose is still a rose, called by any other name." And the Course in Miracles is just trying to get a crack. Because up until a certain point in our lives, we just awaken every day, believing everything, believing I am whoever my mom said I was, my dad said I was, my friends, society. My wife, my wife told me, she said, one guy said, my wife is petite, slim, build woman, which is, but she's a man, or a guy told her that don't no man want no skinny woman. And she believed that she was unattractive from that time on, that she was really not what most men liked or wanted. And I'm like, and my response to her saying it was like, one guy. And Lynn typed, and Tracy can't see the room, but she may be listening. Lynn's just typed, "Tracy is adorable." What about man? I'm not, you never said I was adorable. You knew me first. Anyway, or have you? Maybe you have. Maybe I just forgot because that's what we do in this body. We forget. But that's what this world tries to do. It tries to defy us. And we follow suit. We try to define other people. And the course is just really, I'm just taking my time, going super slow, looking at the clock. Oh, wow, that's will be coming up in about 29 minutes. So I got to speed up. But the course is really, it's just a crack. And all I'm trying to do is give myself another crack today. Not a big lunch, not a huge leap, but just to consider and taking this consideration with a grain of salt. You know, yes, I've been conditioned. Yes, I've been trained. Yes, I've been told what this is and what that is. And following that description and that information uh, has provided me uh, with the experience in this body, in this world, but all with a grain of salt. And talking about Reverend Wayne in the chat room because of the song I Adore. And yeah, Reverend Wayne has a great playlist, has some real thoughtful, thought provoking music, no matter what he's playing. So, this lesson, lesson 8, no one really sees anything. He sees only his thoughts projected outward. The mind's preoccupation with the past is the cause of the misperception about time from which your seeing suffers. Your mind cannot grasp the present, which is the only time there is. It therefore cannot understand and cannot, in fact, understand anything. That thing is talking about the mind with a small m that really can't grasp or understand anything. The one wholly true thought one can hold about the past is that it is not here. To think about it at all is therefore to think about illusions. Very few have realized what is actually entailed in picturing the past or anticipating the future. The mind is actually blank when it does this because it is not really thinking about anything. The purpose of the exercises for today is to begin to train your mind to recognize when it is not really thinking at all. While thoughtless ideas preoccupy your mind, the truth is blocked, and that your mind has been merely blank rather than believing it is filled with real ideas is the first step to opening the way to vision. First step, don't read through this so quickly because here's a big tip, a big key to vision, to true sight, to seeing. Recognizing that your mind has been merely blank rather than believing that it is filled with real ideas is the first step to open the way to vision. Because we think all these thoughts are us. It's an extreme temptation to not think any other way. We think these thoughts that fill our mind is us. And I love, and what I'm seeing now is being present. What a lot of people, as this is saying, when they think they are present and they're not. That's why, excuse me, I'm finding that I'm the norm because I hear stuff, I see stuff that other people don't see or notice that's present. Regina Dawn Akers was talking about a month ago, and when she takes some of the friends up to some of her favorite spots way up in the mountains, and she says she make them put their phones away while they're traveling up because they miss everything in the moment. You miss everything. You miss the glory of God. We're so filled with ideas and thoughts that we miss the glory of God. And, I can be somewhere and, okay, there's a draft. Oh, you don't feel the draft because your mind is not me being nitpicky. It's that there is a draft. But your mind is so filled with thoughts and ideas, you hadn't even noticed it. There's a rainbow. There's a sound. Oh, I didn't hear it. Oh, well, I'm the one that's present because the sound is right here, right now. Oh, you didn't hear that sound? No. Well, where are you? Because the sound was right here, right now in this room. Well, I didn't hear it. Well, why didn't you hear it? Is the question. Where were you? Because our mind is so filled with thoughts and ideas all the time, all the time, all the time, all the time, all the time. That's why in so many cases, and all of us have been in that space where we spoke to someone or waved at someone. We were a few feet away, but definitely close enough for them to see us, or we was passing by them in the office or whatever, and they just didn't hear us. They didn't even see us. And then you go back and you tell them what they were doing at the moment, what they had on, what was going on, and they say, "Oh yeah, I didn't even see you." Well, why? Why didn't you see me? You were there, I was there. Why didn't you see me? Why didn't you hear me? And so this course, these lessons are just trying to get a crack, not a big leap. As I said, the purpose of this exercise today is to begin to train your mind to recognize when it is not really thinking at all. Jumping right on over from that to lesson 9, which is today. I see nothing as it is. This idea obviously follows from the two preceding ones. But while you may be able to accept it intellectually, it is unlikely that it will mean anything to you as yet. However, understanding is not necessary at this point. And I'm just going to stop here and I want to read what Leanne posted in the chat room, just because I want to. Leanne says, I was in a group last night and I noticed how a few people had any sort of focus. Their minds were rambling. Our groups are so clear. We are blessed. Shout out to our group. And we are. Yeah. Because, Lynn, I really found this even in corporate America that I was so present in corporate meetings, in reading processes and procedures in documents. And most corporations are ever changing. There's always updates. There's always changes in processes and procedures. I was so present that I often outshine my superiors. And there would be times not when I was trying to outshine them or show them up, but we would be at an impasse, and they would be trying to say, "Oh, Regis, that's not correct. That's not how that goes." I said, "Yes, it is how it goes. Go back and read the instructions." And then they would go back and read the instructions that they already read and realize, oh yeah, that's right, he's correct again. you know. And I tell people all the time, it's not that I'm a genius. People want to say, oh, Regis is so smart, he's such a genius, he's so this, he's so that. No, I have an uncanny ability for this world in with my worldly peers, for just actually being present, for actually being exactly where I am. And even if that's at work, it's retail or whatever I'm doing, I have the ability to actually hear what's being stated, to hear the request that's being made. And oftentimes I have stepped in where a customer may be talking to the person beside me, and the person beside me is looking at them, making eye contact, but still their mind is so busy they're not comprehending or hearing what's being requested. And I have to say, oh, they asking for this, and they will be like, yeah, that's right. you know. So it's that ability to be present. I think it's strange when I sit down with some people and we're watching a movie or TV, and I start commenting about what's on the screen and nobody saw it but me. I'm like, where the hell are you people? I thought I thought we were all together watching the same thing. And then you have to and play it back, and then they have to see it a second or third time. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, I missed that. Yeah, why did you miss it? We need to stop saying, oh, I missed that. No, and start asking, why did you miss that? See, until we stop making excuses for what Jacob Glass called lazy, sloppy thinking, we won't stop having lazy, sloppy thinking. We won't think about until we stop making excuses. You know what, Zuma, I should have heard that. Yes, should have. I should have seen that. I was not present. I apologize for going into my own head and just being so undisciplined with my thoughts that you were trying to share a moment with me, and I just lazy, sloppy thinking. The Course says we have undisciplined minds. We are much too tolerant. Zuma reminded us of that all of 2022. It wasn't 23. It was all 22. That so many times throughout that year, she read from the Course and quoted the Course. We are much too tolerant of mind wandering. And we make too many excuses for it. We need to stop making excuses for it. It's too easy for us to make excuses for being present. So we can read these lessons, and as it just stated, this idea obviously follows from the preceding ones. But while you may be able to accept it intellectually, it is unlikely it will mean anything to you yet. Oh yeah. However, understanding is not necessary at this point. In fact, the recognition that you do not understand is a prerequisite for undoing the false ideas. These exercises are concerned with practice, not with understanding. You do not need to practice what you already understand. It would indeed be circular to aim at understanding and assume that you already have it. It would indeed be circular to aim at understanding and assume that you already have it. So you have to practice. Lynn says practice nonviolent communication. And I have to stop. Myrna has just came into the Zoom room. And of course, you can see us on YouTube. You can see us in Zoom. You can be with us in Pal Talk. And we have all these places. But Myrna, you are looking dashing. She has got her hair done all up. She's got that lipstick on, and I'm telling you, she's ready for the ball. I said the bell of the ball to my wife, Mary, and she didn't know what that meant. She's like, I never heard of that. I'm like, you never heard the term the bell of the ball? Where have you been? So, Myrna is the bell of the ball. I would think it was 6 or 7 o'clock in the evening if I didn't know better. We about to go out to this party or something. But it's beautiful, and I love beauty. I absolutely love beauty, and my wife knows it. And I love color. So whether that's a person, whether that's a wall, whether that's furniture, flowers, I love beauty.
Oh,
And
I do too. Thank you. I think you're beautiful. So if you were here right now, I would ask you to dance with me.
absolutely, it's amazing. Yep. And we yeah,
I don't hear you now.
He froze. Regis froze again.
Yeah.
Give him a
Hi,
moment.
Emma. How you doing?
I'm well and wonderful. How are you?
Good. Thank you.
Yeah, hopefully he'll be back here in a moment.
Okay, then.
Must be cold in Nashville. Regis freezing up. Yeah, you do look gorgeous, Myrna. But you always look so beautiful. That's what everybody in this group is so lovely. I'll
Yeah.
even put on my camera and you can see me. I'm like wearing my. It's cold in my room, so I have
Yeah.
a cooler in my window, so the wind was howling through here. And
Yeah.
there's Ozzy waving. Hi,
Ozzy.
sweetheart.
There he is. Nothing real can be threatened. He's back.
yeah, yes,
Yep.
yeah.
We
This
carried
one of
on.
those. Thank you. Yeah, one of those cyber tech days. But yeah, I was saying, Myrna, we had our holiday party last night uh, for our company because we don't have them during the holiday season because we're so busy. So we always have them the first of the year. So it was a big dress up affair, and it was great. People really were. I mean, they put on their best outfits. It was
Yeah.
fun just to see all of that.
I like what you're wearing right now. I love the shirt with the tie, the silk tie, and that's really very, very cool. I like that.
Thank you, Myrna.
You're a fashion plate as well. What did you wear last night? I'm curious.
Oh yes, I was so sharp.
Yeah, pictures.
I had on I guess you would call it like a plaid suit. It was the pants, the jacket, it was plaid, and then I had on a sequins hat. And everybody was talking about my hat. It was, I call it my Michael Jackson fedora. it, it was completely sequenced out and blinged out, and but everybody was so sharp. Everybody was just
Oh, nice.
super. Yeah, love watching that kind of stuff.
Alexa,
Yeah, it raises our vibration. It raises our energy. I was telling my wife a week ago. I said, feng shui. How you arrange colors in items in the house, and even the shape of those items and where they're placed. It's all helpful. You take it with, as I think for this year, is taking it with a grain of salt. But anything that will help raise you and allow you to just have a little bit more happiness, a little bit more excitement, a little bit more or that nature that we truly are. This world is filled with so many ideas and concepts to pull us away from our natural state. Our natural state is happy. Our God-given inherent state is happiness, is laughter, is joy, is smiling. We should always have big smiles. I mean, that's our nature. And what this world does is try to strip all of the godlike qualities from us, and then we become these other people, and we say, well, it's just not who I am. That's just not my personality, because we've taken on this personality from the thought system, as Zuma reminds us, the thought system that's always prevalent and always trying to dictate. And if people say, well, that's, it's just not in my nature. It is in your nature to be happy. It is in your nature to have a big smile and to be curious and to be enthused and motivated. It's what this world has given us as our personalities. In Lynn Types, in Power Talk, ego is the person. So as I was finishing up in these last few minutes, lesson 9, however, understanding is necessary at this point. In fact, the recognition that you do not understand is the prerequisite for undoing false ideas. Then I'm thinking that as these lessons are teaching us to think about what we're thinking about, this, we don't have to fully understand it, but we can practice. When we begin to practice being present, when we begin to practice in calling ourselves when we are having lazy, sloppy thinking, when we're allowing we're much too tolerant of mind wandering. When we began just to practice that, I'm going to catch myself, I'm going to acknowledge what I'm doing, and I'm going to bring myself to the present. I'm going to shower, I'm going to feel the water. I'm not going to be outside the shower having a conversation with someone else or taking care of projects and chores. I'm going to feel the wet. I'm going to feel the water as it beats against my skin. I'm going to be in the shower. I'm going to be present. And as we began to practice, I can talk about a lot of these concepts with a lot of clarity because of the practice, because the practice, not the understanding, came first, the practice. I remember a few years ago, I was in a new house and I brought some coworkers home with me to show them the house. And they got up to my bonus room where there was all my exercise equipment, and on my elliptical or my treadmill, I think it was the elliptical, I had this sign that I had made it, and it said, Regis, what are you thinking? And it had the image of like a man thinking. And one of the people saw this sign. She said, Regis, what's that? What does that mean? And I said, yeah, I have to remember to think about what I'm thinking about. I have to watch my mind. So I have signs up at that time that say, hey, snap out of it. get back here. Get back on this treadmill. You be present. So I had signs that I put up to help me, to remind me, get back right here, right now. Get out of the past, get out of the future, get right here, right now. And so, as this lesson says, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? Let's get the practice. If we all understood it, we wouldn't need to practice. If we already understood the power of being present, and as I said, the power of being present, Karen typed the power of now. Power, as the P was popping out of my mouth, the power was popping up on the screen. That is so perfect. And I tell you, synchronicity just, it excites me. It feels like Christmas every time there's a little synchronicity. So yeah, the power of being present. So we practice and we help ourselves. You put sticky note on your mirror in the bathroom that said, hey, what do you think? Right here, right now. What were you thinking? When you see that note, what was I thinking? Was I in the bathroom? Was I putting on makeup? Or was I already down the road on the highway? So you begin to think about what you're thinking about, and it brings you into a place to where you find, and you will start noticing not to be in comparison or I'm better than this person or better than that person, but you'll start noticing, like about the meeting last night, that man, people are really not present, and I really am present. People, their bodies are right where my body is, but they're somewhere else. And it's amazing, our dogs know it. Because if you're not present, you can be in the room with your dog, but if you're really floating off in your mind, that dog will start nudging you, licking on you, acting out in some kind of way, because it realized your body is, but you're not. Babies, toddlers do the same thing. As long as you're present, they're fine. But when you start floating off, they'll start pulling on your clothes and trying to get your attention. Hey, 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 where are you? You're not here. Is you will find yourself really happy all the time. There's always something beautiful. Like there's always some color. There's always someone wearing a nice outfit. There's always a sound, a smell, something. We're just not left to just say, hey, be in this chaotic world and feel good. We're just not thrown out here and say, hey, everything is against you, feel good, be happy. But happiness is all around us. Beauty is all around us. But because we're so tolerant of mind wandering, we don't see it. We just see the things in our mind. We see the things that our mind is presenting us. But in the presence, the power of now. And I'm going to stop on that note. We got about 3 minutes before Myrna and Dove. And we got a song. What's that song right now?
There was a secret chord, David played, and he plays alone, but you don't really care for music, do you? It goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, and the major lift, the fourth, the king composing hallelujah. Faith was strong, but you needed proof. Saw bathing on the roof, her beauty in the moonlight overthrew you. She tied you to her kitchen chair. She broke your throne and cut your hair. From your lips, she drew the hallelujah. Baby, I've been here before. I know this room, and I used to live alone before I knew you.
You're listening to US.
It's okay to have just a little, and it's swell to have a lot. On the bottom a pauper or a queen. The more you give, the more you live, your happiness is relative. And if you're feeling like crap, it's time to face the fact it's your prerogative to be positive.
All right, Dove Lynn Merlin, Mike is all yours.
Thank you, Regis.